I would like to extend to you an invitation to the pants party.
Excuse me?
The party. The pants with the pants. Party with pants.
Brick, are you saying that there's a party in your pants and that I'm invited?
That's it.
Welcome, everybody, to the Wednesday live stream. So good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Happy hump day to you. I'm your host, Laserpants, also known as Ryan. I am joined by a very, very special guest tonight. I hope you caught me over on his channel just last Friday. I had a great time talking with him. He is the smoothest, silkiest, butteriest voice in all of toy YouTube. Yes, even more so than Articulated Ninja. Please welcome my friend Tony from Legends series. What's up, man?
Baby, hear that music right now. Oh.
Well, I know you're a wrestling fan.
Oh, you goddamn right. I love that theme song. I fuck with my wife with that song all the time.
Welcome, man.
Thank you so much for having me, man. That's a high compliment. A smoother voice than Ninja?
Woo. Well, I mean,
buttery smooth, huh?
It's half true and it's half me just busting his balls. I hope that eventually he sees this and he's just a little bit offended. But hey, look at this. We got Crown Fox Productions here. Now, you know this person.
Yes, very well. That's my lovely wife. Thank you very much. She's
yes.
definitely in the front row right now. I appreciate it.
Yeah, she said front row seat to see my Love Legends series. There you go. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
You got to love that little support from the wife in this ridiculous hobby that we have.
Yes, facts. Yes,
Yeah.
She is one of the most supportive ladies. I love her very much. She is the absolute best. Thank you, babe.
Speaking of this ridiculous hobby, now, when I was on your channel, you got to interview me, and I've been saying it a lot this past week. I had a really good time. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Just talking about my history with like this hobby, collecting toys and YouTube. So I wanted to bring you on tonight to ask you some of the same questions, and then we can get into some toy news a little bit later.
Okay. Works for me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, man. So, Tony, how did you get into collecting toys as a grown adult?
Well, yeah. Okay. So, listen, I was always kind of collecting, but it wasn't like a problem as it is today. We have a big issue now collecting toys, but I stopped, and then I went into cosplay. So I started really making costumes, and I did a lot. I made a couple Batman suits, a couple Iron Man suits, Ultron. And then one day I went to my buddy's house who was also into cosplay, and he was collecting Marvel Legends. And he just he had this Wolverine that I think I was telling you on Talking Figures. Wolverine's my favorite character. And he had the Juggernaut wave that had just dropped at that point.
Oh, yeah.
So he takes the brown suit Wolverine off the shelf, and he goes, "Hey, check this out, man." I'm looking at him. I'm like, so this is what they look like now, huh? Like, because I'm remembering like the shitty action figures from when we were kids, like the superpowers and stuff like that, right? So
yeah,
I'm not expecting it to look that good and articulate that well. And then he just reached down under his desk and he's like, "Hey, man, I have an extra one. I just want to apologize ahead of time because you're gonna start I'm just about to set you down a road that you can't recover from. And I was just like, what? And I was like, that's not going to happen. And then I came home, and by the end of the week, I was already on eBay looking to try to complete the X-Men, like for the ones that I know come out that I already missed out on. Yeah, so I was just like, you fuck. I messaged him. I was like, you got me. You got me. And that was it.
It's funny that it was like Marvel Legends, because that has got to be the biggest rabbit hole to go down of any modern line.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been around for 20 some years, thousands of figures.
I know. And it was one of those things where, like, it started out with Marvel Legends, and then I was, I'm very big into photography and making, like, stop motion and shit like that. So I was like, I need for these guys to beat up. Like, I don't like, I have a couple Hydra agents, but that's not enough. So that's what led me down to G.I. Joe. And then, like, it just like, it was like a boom. Like, all of a sudden I realized that there was not just Marvel. Like, that's where I started. So I had like tunnel vision, if you will, where I was just collecting. Like, I had to complete the Avengers. I had to complete this team and that team. And then when I started really taking pictures, I was like, I need people to fight. And that's when, like, the boom happened. And now I look around my room and I have, like, every goddamn thing you can think of. And it's just like, whoa, what happened?
Like, what have I done? Like Anakin,
I tell my wife, like I come out of the dream finally. I'm like, I was like, what the fuck? And I look around, I see all this shit. And I'm like, oh my God, where was I the last year and a half? What the hell just happened?
Dude, it adds up quick, especially if you start pre-ordering stuff. You're going to toy shows. Were you like always a collector, and it just turned into toys, or?
Yes, essentially, yeah. Because, like, when I started doing cosplay, it was really because I wanted to have a collection of helmets, but I didn't want to, like, buy, like, because at the time they weren't coming out with, like, those Black Series helmets or those, like, Marvel Legend helmets. You just had to go to, like, a third-party place, or like another cosplayer, to get them. So I was just like, I'm one of those, like, do-it-yourselfers. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll learn how to make the helmets myself, and I'll just hang them on my wall, and that'll be it. And that's what it started. I had Magneto's helmet. I had like an Iron Man helmet, and so on and so forth. And then, like I said, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like you might understand this as a collector. You kind of get bored eventually of just seeing the same shit. So it was one of those things where, like, I saw the helmets and it's like, yeah, it's cool, but eventually it's just like, all right, and they just came off I just took them off and I sold them one by one, just to get rid of them. And then, like I said, because it became like, the skew on action figures was one of those things where I was like, I'm going to sell this helmet and buy a couple of this because I need to get, like, Cyclops or some shit like that. And then before I knew it, I was like, fuck costumes. And then I was just all in on action figures. Because, like, honestly, I like I said, it was into photography and I wanted to do cosplay photography. So I was making costumes for myself and I just wanted to take pictures. And it's kind of spurned off on some commission work. But it really wasn't. That one to me, and I don't want to knock any cosplayers out there, but it's not financially feasible, because it starts to get really expensive fast, depending on the intricacies of the costume and the props and all that other shit. And sometimes you could work your ass off on a costume, and this has happened to me. And you go to a con, and within minutes it rips, or minutes somebody steps on it and it fucking breaks, or they take the props at the door, and it, like. Not to say that it'll fuck the whole costume, but it does fuck up the flow of the whole. Like, if certain costumes, like if they need a sword or a gun and shit like that, and you go to the main gate and they take that shit from you, kind of throws the whole flow of the costume off, and you don't really want to take pictures anymore. So it was one of those things where it's like, and not to mention walking around a con in foam armor. Just, you want to talk about sweating your balls off.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where I couldn't do it no more. And I always make this joke, dude. I dressed as Batman. And I went to New York Comic Con, and then I stood next to a dude who looked actually like Batman. And it was in that moment where I looked over at my friend and I go, fuck. I look like a thug that he beats up to find out where the Joker is. I was like, I'm sitting here.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Exactly. It's exactly how I felt. And I was like, I think I'm done with cosplay. I was like, I can't do this anymore. So, I mean, it's a fun hobby, but very expensive.
Were you ever in one of, like, the cosplay groups, like the 501st or one of those clubs? Because they get, like, they have pretty strict rules about how your costume has to look, right? I imagine that could be a challenge too.
Yeah, and that was the thing too, because I was trying to get into some of them, and I was trying to get, like, at least when you go to, like, they have all those meetups at the cons and shit. So I was trying to, like, maybe I get some pictures and shit, and they weren't very friendly. Like, I noticed a lot of those people just weren't friendly, and I was like, you know what? Fuck you then. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I took time to make this goddamn thing. Like, you could at least be friendly. Like, so I was just like, this ain't for me. I'm not into that. If you're not gonna like I like when creative people get together. We all did the same shit. Like you made a costume, I made a costume. It's cool. We should all kind of exchange ideas and be friendly. But when they're very, I guess, guarded, they have the defenses up. But I get it, man. A lot of people, you're around a lot of strangers at once. So I get it. So it was one of those things where I was like, this world ain't for me. So I didn't really attempt after that to reach out to groups like that because I knew how strict their rules were.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those guys where if I'm going to make a costume, I want to enjoy it. So I don't want to go, oh, fuck, I missed this. And now I can't wear it because they have this rule that if I don't look this way, I can't get in. So I was just like, man, fuck it. It was just too much, too many rules.
Hal Jordan, who has the best avatars, he said cosplay is only profitable if you have huge tits and a bubble ass.
It's not fucking wrong.
Yeah.
It's not wrong.
I've heard that, about some of the costuming groups. They're, it's very cliquish.
Yes.
Yes. It's the cool kids club. And I mean, that exists in toy collecting too, especially if you're on YouTube. Which I try to be open to, everyone that wants to be a part of it, because I don't want to fall into that trap.
No, me neither, man. I don't want people to one thing on my channel, I tell my wife, is I want you to feel like you come to a cookout and I'm the crazy uncle. That's in front of the grill with with a joint just spewing insanity, and people are like, this guy's fucking, I love him. He's nuts. I love Uncle Tony. He always has a good time. I don't want anybody to feel like they feel like they're in a clique or there's like this kind of bullshit, because I don't want that kind of stuff. Where I come from, man, everybody's got to be friends, man. Like I come from the wrestling world. I come from pro wrestling. I used to do all that shit. I used to be a pro wrestler, so I understand about brotherhood. Camaraderie within a locker room. So that I'm really all about that shit. So I like to get along with people. I don't like to have problems with anybody.
Yeah. So when you were a kid, like what toy lines were you playing with?
Mostly Ninja Turtles and He-Man.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So it was my brother had He-Man first because he was obviously the older one. And they got him all the toys first. I got the hand-me-downs. So I got a lot of He-Man and some G.I. Joes. He really didn't have a lot of G.I. Joes, but he had some. But my first line that my mother bought me for like Christmas and shit was the Ninja Turtles. Like I remember that very vividly as a kid, opening up and seeing Leonardo and Donatello, who were my two favorites. And then my brother got Raphael, Michelangelo, and then quickly was like, fuck these, and then gave them to me. So then I had all four. But
nice.
But yeah, so like that was that. I remember that. And then I remember a couple of the superpowers, like Captain America in the car, and Spider-Man, and then the Punisher. Like I remember those, like that first line of superpower figures. She got me those.
Yeah, that was Toy Biz.
Yes. So
they even did a Punisher van in that line, which was awesome.
Yes, I think I had that as well. Yeah, but cool. Like that was one Christmas. I'll never forget it, and it was only because my pops was working at a great job that year, so they was able to kind of like splurge, if you will. So I was able to. It was one of those Christmases where I couldn't believe the amount of toys that I had gotten. It was the first time and one of the only times that it was ever like that good.
Yeah, I had a similar situation, but I was already past like playing with toys. I was a collector. I was like 15 probably. I remember my dad had gotten a new job and we had a good year one year. And he had got me, I think that was the year they got me like the Millennium Falcon from Power of the Force 2. And it was like, this is awesome. Yeah, I never had a Millennium Falcon until then.
Yeah. My mother was slick like that though, because she would do shit like, well, we didn't have money. Like one time I wanted Sonic and Knuckles. Remember the Sonic and Knuckles game? You could connect Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 to. I wanted that fucking game so bad, and she's like, I couldn't afford it. I'm so sorry. And then she gave me as a last gift like pajamas, and I opened it up, and as I folded it, I was so mad. It's like pajamas, this is bullshit. And then the game fell out onto my lap, and she was like, "Gotcha, dick."
That'll teach you, ungrateful little brat.
Yeah.
Right on. Now you mentioned wrestling too. You kind of, sort of, or full on, you do work in wrestling?
I do. Yeah. Man, that's a long story, but it all started, picture in 1988. I watched Macho Man Randy Savage, and it was like literally off to the races. Honestly, that's exactly how it happened. I watched Macho Man fight Ted DiBiase at WrestleMania 4 to become the WWF champion, and Hulk Hogan, that whole Mega Powers thing, he handed a belt, and I was hooked. Like that was all I wanted to do. Like I tell everybody, I used to watch a little bit of G.I. Joe and a little bit of this, but as soon as I discovered pro wrestling, it was like, this is all this in real in real life. Yeah. And but for some reason I was fascinated with it, every aspect. So I had to learn it. And then when I got old enough, I went and trained. I trained by with Tony DeVito, who was a former like WWF jobber. He was in ECW as one of the Baldies. And he like
a jobber is kind of like one of like the no-name guys that just
yeah, they call him a curtain jerker, enhancement talent. He comes out, he loses to the big talent, or he comes out, and if you're trying to establish a new guy, he just comes out and he squashes him.
Gotcha.
But he lived like right down the street from me. I didn't know that, and all I wanted to do was learn how to wrestle to the point where I bought my own wrestling ring. Like I just was like, fuck it. And I had it set up in my yard, and I found out that he lived down the street, and we talked for a little bit, and he came over and he trained me and a couple other guys. One guy who is currently in AEW, I think he goes by the name Dutch. It was Bill Carr, but he's there, and another buddy who didn't really continue it. He lives upstate as a correction officer, but I did it, and then while I was doing it, I ran my own company as well. So I was promoting my own company because I wanted to learn every aspect of it. I didn't want to not know how to do wrestling. That was all I wanted to do with my life until when I finally started to work, like as a worker, I got hurt. Like I didn't get hurt in the match. That was the fucking scary thing. Is a guy gives me a Rikishi driver, which is a running Powell driver. So he smashed me into the corner, turned around, ran, and just plodded me, and my head hit the mat. Right. It was like a gun. It was like a gong, like a gunshot went off, and I saw white, and all I remember was everything was spinning. So I had like a concussion for sure, but I didn't know my neck was kind of fucked up. I didn't know. So I, whatever, live my life. I don't fucking go to the doctor because I'm a moron. And then I go to work, and I was a maintenance man, and they said, "Yeah, can you pull this air conditioner out of a window?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I'm pulling the air conditioner out the window, and some moron bolted it in. I went to fucking yank this thing like a gorilla. And I heard a pop in my neck.
Oh,
yeah. And then that was it. And then I have now, when it happened, they only found one herniated disc, but now over all the years, because it's deterioration, now I have like 4 or 5, whatever the fuck it is, a couple on my back. And that was the funny thing. I was only in wrestling a short time, like working, because I wanted to do everything else. Like I didn't really want to be a worker because I knew I'm 5'7", 5'8" on a good day. At the time I was a big boy. I was at least 230 when I was working. And I just wasn't as athletic as most guys who get to the main shows are. So I was just like, I don't really think I have it there, but I have it here because I'm always in the locker room helping guys. I'm always directing guys to do promos, and I'm always teaching guys on the mic. Because when I was training with DeVito, I said, I'm fat, I'm not that athletic. How am I going to get over? And he literally said, you better grab a fucking microphone and learn how to speak. He goes, because that's the only way it's going to work for you. And I was like, okay. I was like, I can understand that. And that's exactly what I did. I just started watching the greats on the mic. Jake the Snake, Roddy Piper, Hogan, Savage, Sean, Brett, all these guys that I knew could work the mic. And I was like, all right, well, I see what they're saying here. I see what they're doing here. I see why the heel would say this when he would say it. And I start understanding psychology of a good guy and a bad guy. The older you get, you start to figure that shit out. Obviously, right from wrong. And then I started to be like, all right. So when I started to work, that was all I wanted to do. Like I would tell people, like when I would go to companies, I'll go, give me the fucking mic. I'll go out and get heat. Don't worry. Just give me the mic. If I'm a heel, if I'm a baby face, I'll do the shit in the ring. Like I'll work it in the ring and everybody will know that I'm a baby face. Baby face is the easiest fucking job. You come out, you go like this, come on. And everybody goes nuts, but as a heel, you really gotta get them, so you got to get them from the beginning. And so it's one of those things where I just knew I wasn't going to go out there with a physique. Physique's not going to do it for me because I'm not in that kind of shape. So had to be verbal. And I guess that's a kind of help with this YouTube was just kind of like, that's, I got comfortable. And then like when I got hurt, all that shit kind of went away because, you go into like a haze with an injury and that like, it was a whole thing. But like that out of my wrestling career, what I remember most was get it with the mic because you're not going to get it anywhere else. And I luckily was able to.
Is that really what got you into podcasting on YouTube, or was there something?
No, I got injured. I got hurt.
Yeah.
So what I was doing was I was running a company and I was working. And then when I had gotten hurt, everything kind of went away. My doctor was like, that ain't never going to happen again. So I didn't know what to do. I was like lost, man. So I went into a serious depression. And I to a point where I developed, like I already had it, but it wasn't like to this degree. Like I had social anxiety. like I would get awkward around people or quiet, but it was never like to when I got hurt all of a sudden, it was like a switch flipped and I couldn't be around anybody. It was like weird. And even to this day, it's kind of shaky. But so I talked to one
You
of
wouldn't know it from your YouTube channel.
I thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to hide it well, buddy. But my one of my mentors, Mike Morgan, he was a promoter in Jersey. He was teaching me how to promote and how to book. And he said, you know, just because you can't fucking wrestle anymore doesn't mean you can't be involved with it. And I said, what do you mean? And he remembers, like, one day I went into his office and I was hanging out at the show. And he said, what do you think of the show? And I didn't talk about the wrestling match. I talked about his production. I said, you got this dickhead. He's filming a pole. The hard camera is over here. Why is it there? Should be here. I was like, and what's going on with the commentary? Just where are they? He said, they're not here. They don't do that till after. I was like, mine, I got to be here. Everything's got to. And he was listening to me how I was kind of directing that part. And he was like, I want you to do that. You should come here and do that. And I was like, all right. And he goes, and commentate. He goes, commentate. He goes, call the matches with your boy, my friend Cheyenne. And I was like, all right. I was like, Cheyenne was their lead announcer. So he was like, Cheyenne will walk you through it. He'll help you out. And I was like, all right. So I go down there. I set all the cameras up. I get everything. I get a crew of guys that I knew I could trust with the camera to film. And then I just sat there and commentated. And as soon as that event was done, I knew. I was like, oh, shit, I want to talk for a living. I want to do this. I like this podcasting thing. So it was crazy how it all happened. And then, like, the more I did that, I was like, oh, I like this production shit. And then I started False Finish Productions, which is my other YouTube channel. And then I just started producing wrestling, like on the East Coast. So I started doing Jersey, Connecticut. We've gone as far as Delaware and like all the way upstate New York, almost Canada. Okay. So we've done a lot of shit, and we've done major companies too, which I'm very proud of. But it all started. And like I said, it's one of those things where I got to, like, tip my cap to people who kind of, like, I always say, who's kind of saved my life, because Mike saved my life. Because when I crashed and burned and I didn't know what the fuck to do, I was lost. Like I was literally lost. And he was like, do this. And then from that started this whole thing. Even this all came from that as well. It was a crazy, you know, when they say shit happens for a reason, I think that's what happened. It was like you were meant to get hurt or meant to kind of stray away from the physical stuff, because this is what you were kind of meant to do.
It seems like it. And speaking of your channel, False Finish Productions, there is a link in the chat. If you guys are big wrestling fans, definitely check that out. Check out Tony's work over there and what he's doing. I do want to kind of bring it back around to toys, but I'd stay on wrestling. Were you into the wrestling figures as a kid? And do you collect them now?
I stay away from them, bro, because that'll be a slippery slope. You want to talk about pissing money away? I can't do it, man. There's too many of my favorites. You know, right now I'm into the Ultimate Edition figures. I like those because they're coming out with, like, your Eddie Guerreros, you know, like old school guys that I remember. But I can't go down that road, dude. I only have a few. I have Macho Man, Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels and Brett. Those are my guys that made me want to, like, get into the business. Yeah. So I tend to, like, stay with them. Those are the ones I get.
I was kind of picking up my favorite characters for a while, you know, and for me as a kid, it was all about Hogan. Like, he was the first wrestler I ever remember seeing, and I was instantly like, this is the coolest thing. I'm like, Dad, we got to watch this all the time. My dad was like, no, it's fake. I'm like, no, it's cool. You know, my dad, he's ornery, but
dude, my father, my father used to tell us, this shit's fake. My father was a closeted wrestling fan, though, because like I would catch him watching it when we weren't. And I would always walk in, like, even now to this day, like one day I went upstairs, he was watching it, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he goes, there's nothing on. I was like, yeah, there's nothing on. I was like, don't lie. I was like, you can watch it. It's fine. It could be a mark. Every time I call him that.
I think we'd probably be hard pressed to find anyone around our age that wasn't into it during the Attitude Era. I feel like, I mean, it was so huge.
Yeah.
Everyone at my high school was wearing, like, T-shirts and.
Buddy, it was like a switch flipped. I couldn't believe it. One day I was like an outcast because I liked wrestling. The next day, coolest guy in the room.
Yeah,
I know everything about it, and I was just like, wait a minute, what the fuck happened here? What you all like it now? Like, I was like, this is crazy, because I was like, it was literally like a switch flip, and I'll tell you exactly what day it was. It was June of 1996. Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. It was that from that point on. All of a sudden, I look around, everybody's wearing Austin shirts, and then everybody was a wrestling fan at that point. It was an impressive time, man. But also, listen, as a wrestler, if anybody are wrestling fans in the chat, it was also one of the worst times in terms of wrestling in the ring because the matches were shit.
Oh,
yeah, none of those guys were good athletes. They were all just fucking. Half of the time they were hungover or drunk and shit like that. It was a mess back then. But the storytelling was second to none.
Yeah, I mean that's for me. That's kind of always what wrestling was. It was the drama. It was the storytelling. The way I think my wife put it this way one time. She's like, it's like soap operas for guys.
For sure. 100%.
And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of exactly what it is.
Yeah, no, even to this day, when you watch the shit, like now, like I noticed, like for a while they kind of strayed away because it was just like dog shit. But now, like the way the storytelling is, it's like episodic again. It's week to week. You got to follow the stories to understand to get to the payoff when they have the big pay-per-views and shit like that. So it's going back to that, and I like that. I'm a big storyteller. Like I said, to me, it was one of those things where, like I said, I wasn't athletic, so you had to learn the psychology of pro wrestling to get good. So you had to learn how to tell stories. So to me, that's what I love about wrestling. My favorite characters are story guys, like Undertaker. That's all gimmick, man.
Right.
Like he's the undead. He gets buried alive. He's set on fire. It's all fake. Even faker than you would assume because it's pro wrestling. But that's the best part of it to me is that storytelling, that fantasy shit.
I remember when Undertaker was new to WWF at the time. There was kids in my school convinced that he actually died. He's dead. Yeah, he's back from the dead. I'm like, even as a kid, I was like, you guys are crazy. But like, I mean, that's the generation we were from. Like, I don't know, we were probably more likely to believe in Santa Claus and that the Undertaker was dead than kids nowadays. I think
he gave me one of the greatest memories of my life. Two of them. The first one was the first buried alive match where his hand comes out after he gets buried alive. And it was one of those things where it's like, it's fake. It's bullshit. I tell guys this all the time. You know how many times I've had to answer that question, bro? Wrestling's fake, right? Yeah, fuck face. I know it's fake. It's not about that. It's about the fact that I will suspend my disbelief to enjoy it. Like you should, but you don't want to because it's fake to you. So
it's theater. It is literally theater. It's very athletic, acrobatic theater. And by the way, people say it's fake. Those guys are destroying their bodies, man. Bro, the stunts are real.
I have 4 herniated discs. I have my neck, and I have some in my lower back. I have bad sciatica from it. My arm, I did a move. It was basically a plancha. I jumped over the ropes like this, and I just did a splash. And when I did that, my hand it jammed on the mat, and my elbow almost popped out. So I almost dislocated my elbow. And when I did, I think it came out and then caught the nerve, and I don't know if it severed it, but it fucked it up. God. So from down here to these 2 fingers, they don't really work. I drop shit all the time. They go numb on me. I get shooting pains, right? And the only reason I think I know that they're like fucked up bad or dead is I went and got one of those the electrical tests. I don't know, it's EMG. I don't know what they call it, but they start down here and they start running like electrical shocks just to see if your nerves or whatever, like your reflexes will react.
Right.
Brother, my arm didn't react until they got that one, and they had the wand full blast until they got all the way up here into my armpit. And that's
got jacked, dude.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck it, that fucked me up bad. So like when I tell people, yeah, it's fake in terms of like I can punch a guy 72 times and he won't have a bruise on his face. Yeah, obviously take it that way. But I've seen guys get paralyzed. I've seen guys bust their heads open the hard way, which means legit. I've seen guys break bones, dislocate joints, tear ligaments. It's a fucking dangerous game. But it's one of those things where, like I said, you gotta love it.
Yeah,
you're gonna give your body to it. There's a price you pay for loving something, anything, whether it's.
Did you ever get involved in any of that crazy stuff with weed whackers and broken glass and fluorescent light tubes?
No.
What is that all about? Like, I don't get that.
No, I hate hardcore wrestling. Death bullshit. I used to, I tell people all the time, when you get into death matches, it literally means that you have no idea how to wrestle or don't want to learn the art of professional wrestling. So you just want to do dumb shit. We filmed it. We filmed one of those.
Yeah.
It was called XPW. They did a fucking Dark Side of the Ring about this guy, Robert Black, right? He was a fucking nut job, whatever the fucking case was. I didn't believe any of this shit. Okay, my buddy who runs the production stuff with me booked this, right? And he's like, easy money, bro. It's right here. It's easy. It's like, okay, no problem, buddy. By the end of the show, okay, I have headsets to my cameramen because I'm editing live while it's happening. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling them, like, I'm kind of directing them, hey man, stand over here, go to here, right? By the end of the show, I had both cameramen standing 3 rows into the crowd because of so many light tubes breaking that I didn't want them to get hit with any dust or any lights. And by the end of that show, I could hear them walking on the glass with how much was around the ring. I couldn't believe it. And as soon as they came backstage, they looked right at me, and I looked right at my buddy Matt. I said, never again. I said, I'm telling you now, the cameras, because there was so many light tubes broken, buddy, you could go like this, like wipe it. And that's how much dust was on the cameras. Like you guys were breathing this shit in, man. I was like, right. We can't be around this shit. This is unsafe.
That's like mercury in there.
Yeah. I was like, I don't fuck with this. This is not a safe work environment. I don't forget you. I'm worried about you guys. Forget the equipment, because they thought I was worried about my equipment. I was like, forget my equipment. I gotta replace the camera. If one of you guys would have got hit one of those tubes, or one of these dummies fucking fucked you up, man, I don't want to live with that fucking kind of guilt. I was like, so we ain't never doing shit like this. This is crazy. Unhinged, man. Unhinged.
All right. Gee.
Yeah.
We should bring it back around to toys before we lose everyone. This is not, we rarely talk about wrestling on this channel, just because I haven't been a fan since Stone Cold retired. I think same with Bobby.
Yeah.
So we don't talk about wrestling often, but this was fun. But Zakanan is here with the member chat. Thank you, Zakanan. He says rumbles into the stream for more makeup tips. It's kind of an inside joke.
I saw that a little bit on the other stream.
Yeah, he was over on Mikey's channel talking about, I like to dust my figures with a makeup brush. And I'm sitting there watching it like, idea thief. Zakanan, the idea thief. He got it for me. This is my makeup brush. This is how I dust my figures. Zakanan.
That's how you guys do it? Because I don't even know. That's a good tip, because I don't fucking do any of that shit.
And then there's a link to your YouTube channel.
Yeah, if you like wrestling, I don't want to bore your crowd with wrestling. But if you are into pro wrestling, we talk wrestling every Monday morning on there. It's live. It's called Spot Monkey Radio. And like I said, it's that's where I want to keep wrestling, because it started happening on Legends series. I'm starting to talk wrestling with a lot of the guys in chat, and I started to feel like, ooh, I don't want to turn this into that too. So I just kind of wound up starting another podcast back on False Finish, just so I can, if anybody wants to hear it, I'm over there. And we can, talk all the wrestling all the live long day over there. I don't want to bore people on Twitch.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the chat right now, and I'm getting nothing but good feedback. Like, this chat is loving wrestling.
All right, cool.
Jeff Morris, thanks for the member chat. He says, look at that. I am as cool as Zakanan. I agree. I think you're cooler than Zakanan, Jeff.
Yeah. I did see somebody ask me what my wrestling name was. There was a few that I had. The one I went by most notably, and I have to preface this by, I didn't want to go by this. This was given to me, was Tony Fatu, because they all said I looked Samoan. And I kept telling them, don't do that to me. Yeah. I mean, it was a rib. Like, it was a rib in the locker room, because the Samoans don't play that shit. So I didn't want the Samoans to show up to a show and literally beat me with an inch of my life because I'm taking their name. So I was trying to tell them, like, yo, man, just call me anything else. Call me Giggle Fuck McButtons. I don't give a shit what you call me, but don't call me that around those guys, because I don't want to get my head smashed in. I was like, please. I was like, I cannot have that happen, man, because those guys do not play.
Yeah, don't mess with the Samoans, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're right here. They're right here in Pennsylvania. And like I said, I've worked with a few of them nowadays, like within the production side of things. And, very nice people, very respectful. But they don't play that shit. Like, you steal their names and stuff like that. They're like,
no.
Yeah, so I didn't want to. But I went by Tone Bone, Tony Fatu, but it was mostly Tone Bone. That was just a nickname I had when I was a kid. But that was it. Whoever asked, I'm sorry, I didn't even see his name, but I just wanted to answer that question.
Tone Bone is that's a choice.
Yeah. So everybody kept calling me T-Bone from Seinfeld.
Oh, okay.
The
Yep.
George Costanza joke. So it's T-Bone. I was like, I just call me Tone Bone. I didn't care because to me, a wrestling, like there was a guy in wrestling. He says Triple H. It's not 3 H's. It's the word Triple H. That's his wrestling name. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, if that can be his wrestling name, you know, like I used to say it all the time. I was like, what do you think? The Undertaker goes to the store and when he writes out a check, he puts the in the first name and then Undertaker in the last. Like they're the stupid names. They're wrestling names. Who gives a
Right.
shit? You know,
Exactly.
so like I didn't care.
Yeah. HGC with the super chat. Thank you. He says it's still real to me. Damn it.
I say that shit to my wife all the time.
And then, oh my God, look at this. We got one. Where's my? There it is. Figure Fight Club. Abby, thank you for 5. 3 POA podcast memberships. Eggs and Flapjacks got one. Ron Ivy, Equan, Sir Knight Hart, and Gabriel. Welcome to channel membership. I'll be doing a members exclusive after show tonight, so you guys are welcome to stay for that.
Oh, yeah, man.
Thank you, Figure Fight Club. Have you seen all the stuff he's given away? I think he's up past 800 subscribers now.
Yeah, I one thing I will say is I love what he's doing over there on his channel.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, and
like
another avid wrestling fan, so I got to tip my cap.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, his channel is exploding.
Hell yeah, it's great stuff, man. And like I said, the stuff he does on Tuesdays too, at the open mic, where he's giving people just a stage to kind of hang out and just meet people. He's doing great things over there, man, for real.
Yeah, he always invites me to Tuesday, but Tuesdays are that's a tough night for me.
Yeah, same with me. Yeah, with the wife and stuff. And I might like this. My father, I don't want to like open up here and like a you're cracking me open like an onion, like a walnut. But my father has like stage 4 kidney disease, so a lot of the times I'm like taking care of him. So Tuesdays is a rough night for me. So it's because it involves shit with him. Yeah.
I mean, we all got lives outside of YouTube. You know,
yeah,
I can't do it. I can't do it every night. But
yeah, absolutely.
Jeff, thanks for the member chat. He says Tone Bone for heavyweight champion.
And in a former life, brother, in a former life, not anymore. I'm barely a heavyweight. They'd have their way with me in that division.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. All right. There's a little bit of toy news this week. Yeah. It's kind of a slow time of year for toy news, but Toy Fair's coming up, so I think like between this week, next week, it's going to explode. There's going to be too much stuff to talk about.
Really?
Yeah. You know, with all the companies at Toy Fair, and they'll be showing new stuff, and there'll be live streams. And in fact, Hasbro was doing a live stream tomorrow. But it's been kind of slow on toys. But Tony, I don't know if you've ever like watched this channel before.
All the time.
Even the Wednesday show.
Yeah.
I like to do a little segment on Wednesdays. Have you heard of it?
Probably, but I smoke a lot of the wacky tobacco, so my memory isn't what it should be. If you can't catch my drift,
it's a little segment I like to call. Let me show you something.
Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Let me show you something.
So, since this, I mean, our hobby's all about buying toys.
Yeah.
This segment is just, let me show you some new toys I got this week.
Hell yeah.
I mean, you got anything handy that you want to show?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. I just opened these on Sunday. I think you might have them too. It was these 2-pack Sentinels.
Oh yeah, I got those.
Yeah, correct me. This bottom half just that retro Iron Man, essentially.
No, those are all new sculpt.
Really, it's all new. Okay.
Yeah.
Really nice figure.
Yeah.
I was a fan of. I only bought 2 because I was just like, well, I mean, I'm only buying it because of the nostalgia for the video game. So I really don't want an army build with these. But I like them.
They came out really pink.
Yeah.
I think a little too pink for the game. And I think they're not going to let that mold sit on the shelf forever and never get reused. I think we'll eventually get a recolored version of those.
Yeah.
Getting pumped.
I was like in the video game, right? Where they were just different colors. Back then,
yeah.
I loved that video game shit like that.
Yeah.
They just render the same character, different colors.
But yeah, I got a few of those. I think I got 4.
That's right on, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I wanted to army build with them, but like, I don't know. I was just like, they were expensive too. It was like $64 for one. Once taxes and shipping was all done on Hasbro Pulse.
Oh, for 1 2-pack.
1 2-pack, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just like, one of those things where I can't really stack the army building, but I did want to. They are nice looking figures. I do like.
And now they want that much for 1 Spider-Man.
I know. I just,
Do we want to bring that up? I don't know if we even want to bring that up. But
I said it this morning on my channel. I said, at this point, because like they sold out, like so if anybody on the second market tries to sell that thing for $100 at that point, you might as well just go to BBTS and buy yourself a Mafex. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even like fuck off with your prices at this point. Like, I hell no. 55 was ridiculous to me.
I mean, the Mafex Spider-Man is 55 on Plaza Japan right now with $15 shipping. So for $20, you can get a Mafex instead of a Marvel Legend.
And yeah, no brainer right there.
To me, it is. Now, a lot of people have said, well, Mafex is too delicate. Which, I mean, are you throwing your toys against the wall? I don't know. I've never broken one. I've had one show up broken.
Yeah.
I got a replacement that sucked, but I did get a replacement. But I don't know. I'm just posting my figures on a desk. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think we've all saw, like, whether it's you turn a joint too rough or whatever, maybe it's whatever the case is. But like to me, I don't, like you said, I'm not rough with them. Like I'm not sitting there going, like. So listen. I have the Superman one I told you about that has the loosey goosey arm, but I'm gonna fix it with that joint stuff. But I'm not gonna crucify a whole line for that. Like, I still have Homelander, which is an awesome figure, and I had a couple of Spider-Men from like the original Tobey Maguire movie, I think, whatever it was, when they first were around Mafex or whatever it was. I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah, it was Andrew Garfield. Yeah,
that one. Yeah, and I sold it off, and I like that one too. It was a great figure, So I wasn't gonna like. I was very disappointed in that Superman, because I needed a Superman figure, and the fact that his arm was very loosey goosey kind of really broke my heart. But
understandable.
Yeah, but to me, Marvel Legends, I like, if you're telling me right now that I could get a Mafex, even though I just told you about the loosey goosey arm, for a little bit more than that Marvel Legends, I'm gonna go to that because that the detail is much nicer on the Mafex.
Sure.
Than the, especially those weird heads that it comes with.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't. Why are you like me? Would you mind a Spider-Man head that like emotes? Maybe like his eyes look squinty, like he's angry, or like he's like thinking of something. The heads that they give with just the same head, it's just like the eye thing is a little bit wider.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Don't try to sell me like, oh, look at this extra head you get.
Right.
It's the same fucking head. You're like, well, come on, man.
You mean to tell me you don't like a little extra head? Come on. I mean, come on.
My wife can answer that question.
All right. Let me get. I got a couple things here, not a ton, but let me get to some chats here. We got Talib 1980 collects. Thanks for the member chat, man. He says, I thought I was the weird one that used the makeup brush to dust figures. I'm down for wrestling stories the rest of the night. We'll see. There you go.
Hell yeah. I appreciate
you bring all the wrestling fandom out of the audience here.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. If I could tell you how many times I've had to apologize because I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't want to talk wrestling. I don't want to bore you guys because I get so nervous I've done this a few times on other people's podcasts. They'll start me off like one time Toy Gains. He asked me one question, and I went off on like a fucking 30-minute tear. And I'm like, sorry, I'm so sorry. I just turned this into that. I don't need. It happened. I apologize.
I wouldn't complain, but I enjoy it. So, thank you, Talib 1980. We got Scott Hughes here. Scott, thank you.
I appreciate
Member for 18 months since the beginning. What does this talk about wrestling not being real? Heresy. Next thing you'll try to convince people Santa isn't real. By God, he's broken in half. Thank you, Scott. Hope you're doing well, man. And then, oh, look at this. Jersey Maniac is here. Thank you for the super chat. He says, let me get one of them sexy winks. There you go.
Very seductive. Very seductive.
I blame Abby. I made a ridiculous promo for his channel, and I did that as a joke, and now it's like, let me get a wink. All right. So what I got this week, I actually got it. I got it last week, but I just opened it a few days ago. Have you guys seen Bobby's channel where he's been doing videos about mech suits and stuff?
Yeah.
He's been, he bought the Mezco mech suit and he wasn't happy with it.
I saw that video. I was so disappointed because I was interested in that mech, and his video kind of swayed me from not even like caring that I can't get it or I'm not going to get it.
Well, I kind of jokingly told him, I'm like, hey man, if you don't like that mech suit, I know someone who does. He's like, oh yeah? I'm like, this guy. I think it looks cool. He gave me a great price on it, and I have it now.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's cool looking. Very cool looking.
Yeah. Listen, Bobby's crazy. This is a good toy. I like this a lot. There is some looseness in the legs a little bit, but I mean, there probably shouldn't be for the price.
Yeah.
I didn't pay that price. Thank you, Bobby. He hooked me up. But I love this thing. And the Gomez it comes with is great. It's got all these lights and sounds and
Cool.
the back. I mean, you can't tell because of the lighting, but
yeah,
all this lights up and the cockpit lights up there. And he's got this big sword. And if I had the battery, I think I did put the batteries in.
Sword lights up, huh?
Yeah,
oh wow. Okay. Right on.
Yeah. Of course, the Gomez comes with tons of accessories and jetpack and all this stuff, and a couple different heads. But
do you think this is the new trend now? Mech suits? Is that going to be like the next thing that comes?
It could be. I mean, no one's really doing them as like a part of the line. There's no mech suit line other than like, what is it, Joy Toy? But that's 118.
Yeah.
The thing with 6-inch scales, they got to be so big. Like this thing is huge.
I think it's massive. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is a very large toy.
How? Just out of curiosity, the one that's come with the classified one, is that going to be that big too? Because they're saying that could fit a figure as well. So I'm assuming it's got to be along those lines, right? That kind of big, or
I think that one looks to be probably about 11, 12 inches tall.
Oh,
so,
okay.
I mean, that's from the picture. Like there was people taking the flame in the picture with it, the flame effect, and be like, oh, this is the torch flame effect.
Okay.
And so they were trying to they measure the torch flame effect that they have and then superimpose it onto the mech suit in the picture and like trying to figure out how many inches this thing was. I don't know. I think they ended up with it like being maybe around 11, 12 inches.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That thing looks like very detailed. But like I saw when he was trying to move it, he was having some issues with the some stuff. He felt like it could have been better. And I just at the price that it's at, or even like on the secondary market, it's very expensive. That particular.
Well, I mean, listen, the regular retail price was too much. I didn't want to pay it.
Yeah, it was very expensive. Yeah.
But then I took advantage of my friend. I said, "Hey, you don't want that? You don't like it? I saw your video. You can't lie to me. You don't like it.
Yeah.
Let me take care of it for you. I'm doing you a favor, Bobby."
Yeah, for real.
But I got that, and then I guess I'm pre-ordering comic books now, which I had never done before. I've crowdfunded comics, but I've never pre-ordered. But I got in this the Mirage Years Ninja Turtles 93 to 95.
Oh, nice.
I saw this go up for pre-order on Amazon, and I've never read these turtle comics.
Okay.
So I was like, let me check that out. Because I mean, like these turtles on here, I have these action figures.
Yeah.
But I've never read the comics. So I'm like, well, I'm going to read them now.
Give it a shot. Yeah, I would love that. But that's a fantastic book too. I see those at Barnes and Noble all the time. My wife will go to Barnes and Noble. My wife will go to the witch section and start just reading books and shit like that. And then I'll just be like, all right, well, whenever you can find me over there, and I'll literally just sit on one of those little stools that they have to stand on, and I'll grab it and I'll set it next to the Ninja Turtle graphic novels, and I'll just take one of the books up and I'll literally just start reading until she's done. So I'll just start reading. I think I've read almost 3/4 of one of those hardcover books.
Yeah, they don't kick you out anymore.
No,
they used to. You can just stay there and read all day.
Yeah, for real.
Yojo Jerk says it's a fun book. Good.
Oh, yeah. Right on. I tell us like, well, why the fuck we have to buy it? I'll just read it here.
Right. Yeah. Unless it's in cellophane like this one. This one is shrink wrap.
Yeah. That's how they get you.
All right. Let me get to the chat and then we'll bring up some toy news here.
Oh yeah.
Where did I leave off? I think with Kevzilla here. Thank you for the member chat. Howdy, Laser Pants, Legend Series, and all the Tater Patrol in the chat. Finally here for a live chat. It's been a while. Glad to be here. Hello, Kevin. Good to see you here, buddy. Hope all is well. And then, hey, look who's here. It's Dave. I almost said Dave's behavior. Displaying model behavior. Dave, what's up, man?
Hey.
I I need to DM you, and I keep forgetting, but I will do it on Instagram, I guess, or Facebook, something. I'll get a hold of you. Wait. Why are messages are being deleted, and I don't know why.
What, off out of the chat, or?
Yeah, that's odd.
Interesting.
Okay, anyway, back to the show. I don't know why those messages were deleted. They shouldn't have been. Okay. Where was I? Oh, toy news.
Yeah.
Sorry, let's get this back on track here. So, I have never dabbled in this line. Okay. I said I would if they ever do a Christopher Reeve Superman.
All right, right on.
And then I saw this. And I'm not saying that I'm going to buy this. But man, am I tempted. It is this T800 hot toy from T2. Dude, this thing is beautiful. I've never seen a likeness this good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Never. And I know Hot Toys is known for their high quality, excellent likenesses.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to tell that this thing is even a toy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, is it just me?
No. That is, when you put the thumbnail up, I thought that was just a picture of Arnie. I didn't know that it was a hot toy.
Yeah, it's amazing. Even like the grain of the leather,
yeah,
looks good at the scale. Like that would be like a dead giveaway. Like, well, that's wrong. Or you see the cloth, you see the threads.
Yeah.
This just looks phenomenal. I've never owned a hot toy, but I'm tempted by this.
But if there was a time to start, right? That might be the one right there to get you started.
Yeah.
Holy
yep.
God, a nice looking figure, man.
See, the danger is, okay, now are you going to do John Connor? Are you going to do Sarah Connor? Or have they already done them?
Yeah.
You know,
T1000, I assume, or that's got to come at some point.
Yeah. And that's a dangerous, that's dangerous to play with when you're a toy collector like us, man.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, man. Jerk and Gaines, like I told you off, they've told me multiple times, if you got to get at least one. You got to get at least one. And I always tell them it has to be worth the price tag. And something like this, to me, right now, looking at it, even just that right there, that's worth the price tag, man. I mean, look how fucking good that looks. And like, I don't think I'll ever take a picture with it or like use it in any other kind of way than just display it. But if you're going to buy one hot toy, this might be the one. This one's a really nice figure, too.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm not a hot toy collector.
No, me neither.
But part of it, it's not just the space or the rabbit hole. Part of it is like, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I'm afraid, like, what if I damage this thing just taking it out of the box, posing it up, you know?
My buddy has the Star-Lord. I was telling you that, too. And his jacket ripped. And he said, like, his heart sank because it was like a $298 figure. And I mean, listen, if you're spending that kind of money, like you just said, and if something happens out of the box or you're just setting it up on the shelf and God forbid something happens to it, oof, I don't buy $100 figures because of that feeling that you have. So I can only imagine if you get something this expensive and that happens.
Yeah. It would be soul crushing.
Oh yeah.
Damn, this looks good.
It does. And it comes with the flower box too, doesn't it?
Dude, I was getting it. So you got the shotgun there.
Look at that, and the fucking minigun.
There's the flower box with the shotgun in it. Yeah.
That's so sick.
Just perfect.
Yeah.
Swappable arms.
Oh man, dude.
This is even the sculpted air. It's like
yeah, that's scary accurate.
Joker J says, "Don't be afraid. I have tons. They're just toys after all."
They are. That is very true, but very expensive toys.
Joker J, what do you think this would run? Is this a 3? I didn't look up any information because I don't like being prepared. You know? What is this thing going to cost? Have they said? I'm thinking well over 300, 325, 350.
I would assume for sure it's got to be upwards of 350 because he comes with all those guns and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it looks like a swappable shirt because that other shirt he had was gray. And
You're
this
right.
one's black. Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, you're getting multiple different. Yeah, there's black. Yeah, you're getting multiple different like outfits, different from different scenes of the movie. 350 easy. Everyone's saying.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
God, is this the one? I don't know.
It might be the one. And it's a 2.0, so I guess they've made him before.
That's what it says.
Or is it 2.0 just from the movie? Is that what he was in the movie?
If it's a 2.0, I believe that means it's a redo.
A redo, yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. Because they redid like Bespin Luke one time, and I didn't get that one. It came with the whole weather vane that he's hanging from.
Yeah. Oh,
in
wow.
The Empire Strikes Back. Man. That and the Christopher Reeve Superman. I should have got those because those are like two of my favorite characters ever.
Yeah.
You know, and if I could just have those two and then maybe this one. And that would be my Hot Toys collection. But I know that it wouldn't stop there. I already know.
Oh, yeah. Like when I saw the Star-Lord one, I'm not a big Guardians of the Galaxy guy. Like I really don't care. But just to see the level of detail that the figure had, I was just like, this is a line that would really suck all of the money I had if I had the money to get them. Because even this, like right now, it's taking everything I have to not be like, all right, yeah, that's on my list for this year. Like it's a nice looking figure. But like I said, Jerkin Gaines said, if you're gonna get one, just one.
Yeah.
To me, this would be up there. Like the only other one that I was telling you offline was Wolverine from Wolverine and Deadpool. I like that Wolverine. But this one, holy shit, man! I didn't know he came with all of that stuff, and like the shirt changes and everything. This might be worth it. This is sick.
I mean, with the way like some Hasbro products are going, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to upgrade. Maybe
it might be.
You know, I mean, if I'm going to be spending $50 for a Marvel Legend, why not just buy a $290 Hot Toy, which was Omar said it was $290 on Sideshow. So.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, under 300. What a bargain!
Yeah, I thought it'd be at least 350 with all that accessories and everything.
Yeah, Dave, display model behavior. It looks like you were accidentally timed out by a mod. It was not intentional. That shouldn't have happened. Sorry about that. Hopefully, it's not too long of a timeout. Hey, Chad's here. What's up, Chad?
Hey, what's up, man?
It's Chad. I miss you, Chad. It's been too long. When are we going to hang out? When are you going to do a live stream? I want to drop in. He says, dropping in to send love to you handsome dudes and all the ugly, toxic people in the chat.
He's Paisan, huh? Oh, Chad.
He is.
It's good to see you, Chad, huh? Nice to see you, pal.
You, him, and Rocco and Toy Gaines, you guys got to get together, you know?
Yeah, every Sunday we'll call it Mom Sauce.
There you go. That likeness is so good.
That's crazy.
There it is. I was looking for this.
They even have that
now, that is disgusting. Look at that. Look at the underside of his skin.
Yeah, it really is. Like I said, a little too accurate.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, just the attention to detail, the thought put into this.
I mean,
awesome.
for Christ, if you could somehow screw that out too and take the chip out of his head, I might just buy it right now.
Right.
That's awesome.
He's got separate rolling eyes. Okay, so these eyes can look around. I'm glad it's. This is what the HasLab Giant Man should have been. It should have just been eyes in his head, and you could move them around. Like Hot Toys does it. Amazing Yamaguchi does it. It's not that hard to do. The whole swapping out the faceplate thing with the eyes.
Bless you.
Ooh.
How does it work with the like? Do you take the hair off, or like how do you move the eyes around?
On Reveltech, like you have to go and be like you take the face off and you go in behind and you move them with the little thing.
Okay.
At least that's which one did I have that did that? I don't remember. I don't have any Reveltech left. I got a couple of bootlegs. That's it. But on a Hot Toy, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
I imagine it's the same way.
That's crazy how you can like. It's scary how his eyes they look so legit. They look real.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's the whole package right there.
That's
so,
all.
yeah.
God damn, that's sick.
All of that, all those soft goods, it's probably pleather.
Yeah.
All those accessories, $290 with the stand. it's just, yeah. What am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing buying? I mean, yeah, it's kind of making me rethink things, but
Yeah, for real.
it's also a lot of work to start selling stuff off,
Mm,
and then making the space for 12-inch figures instead of 6-inch figures.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
you always got to figure that part out because these guys are going to be much, much bigger than like for instance, I don't know how anybody can buy the vehicles from Hot Toys. I saw the in a comic shop the Batmobile, and the
Massive.
I was like, where the fuck you putting that thing? That thing looks like
Yeah.
it needs its own garage. Like, I was like, where? Like, and they had a tumbler. Do they have a tumbler of that size too? Right at a Hot Toys scale or no?
Hot Toys has made most wheels. They
Man,
were Batmobile, Bat Missile from Batman Returns when the sides pop off.
yeah.
I got an email the other day saying they canceled it.
Goodness gracious, man.
Maybe not enough orders, but
Yeah,
I think they've done most of the Batmobiles.
yeah.
Like I've seen like almost every Batmobile in 1/6, so it's either like Jazz Inc. or Hot Toys that's done them.
I've seen the '89 Batwing too, and that thing was just
Oh, that's
Yeah,
that's
what-
ridiculous.
goodness me. Like, where you putting it? Like when you were on Talking Figures, and you told me that your friend had the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, and that thing was massive as well. Like, I just
Yeah.
don't know. Like, forget about world building at 112. At 16, you're nuts.
Yeah, you need to have like a nice big empty warehouse to world build at 1/6.
Yeah, for sure. Airplane hangar. Build your own little city.
All right, next thing that dropped this week, and I know you're not the biggest Mythic Legions guy, but you did say you like He-Man.
I do love He-Man. That is a true statement that you just said.
Now, Mythic Legions is known to do tribute figures and tribute to the Horde. Is that the
Yeah. Hordak's the army.
yeah? Just I mean, it's a repaint of what they've done before. Like I have this body in several different colors.
Okay.
This Cosmic Legion, but it is a cool figure, and this one has a head. There it is. There's that. No, it's got the yellow. Where is it? There it is.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Hordak drone.
Right there.
Yeah.
This is part of the retailer appreciation wave. There's a great shot by Ninja. Just so. Oh wait, what's this?
Wow, awesome.
Hold on, it says,
I would love to army build with these figures, but they're expensive, man. It's a hard army builder for me. I mean, it's at least what, $50 those figures?
Good question.
Yeah,
I told you I'm not prepared. I didn't look it up. I just downloaded the pictures. But yeah, probably about $50. I think the ones that I've gotten that aren't painted like this were 40 to 50.
Yeah.
I don't do like crazy army building. I've just kind of gotten into Mythic and Cosmic Legions.
Okay.
I don't have more than 2 of anything. And I don't want to go deeper than that.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's expensive.
It is.
And it's a whole ass rabbit hole.
Oh yeah. Dude, when I went to Legions Con the first time this past year, I didn't realize how deep that world goes, or like that, like a line and the people that collect it go. I didn't realize it was that big of a thing. Like when I went to Legions Con, I was like, well, it's probably gonna be a small thing. I didn't realize because I don't collect these things like that. I buy a couple of knights and a couple of orcs, and I got so mad that the orcs were $80 and they could barely articulate that I was just like, fuck this line. I just stopped. I'm sorry, but I just like,
no, it's okay.
I'm just like, I'm not going to spend my money. And then I remember I bought one of the dwarf guys because I love the Hobbit movies.
Gimli?
So, yeah, and then those things. And I bought the one with the red beard, and his arm keeps popping off.
Oh.
Pops off. So I was just like, man, fuck this. And that figure was like $50 to $60. I'm like, come on, man, like $50 to $60. It should not be doing this. I should not have
That's
this
true.
problem. And so I was just kind of like really disappointed in Mythic Legion. So I never took them seriously, if you want to say it. So I didn't know they had this insane fucking these people who go bananas for it to a point where, I mean, I never saw customs the way I saw them at Legions Con. It was crazy.
Yeah.
They were all Mythic Legions. There was nothing else. It was very
impressive. Listen, up to like a year ago, I was not a collector of this line.
Yeah.
I'd gotten a few things just to supplement my Asgardian stuff with Marvel Legends. But I proudly said I don't collect Mythic Legions.
Yeah.
It's not, and that was the one I avoided. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. And then we go to PowerCon 2023, and the Four Horsemen booth is next to us. And I'm looking at some of this stuff in person. I'm like,
pretty sick when you look at it, right? The
damn,
detail,
yeah,
the detail is amazing.
yeah.
These figures too. They're, like I said, detail, impeccable. Like I'm
Sure.
like, oh my god, it's amazing. But like, whoever took this shot, good luck. I wonder how long it took them to post them and get them to stand. Because like a lot of the times it's almost impossible. Like the orc, I just wanted him in a walking position, and it was almost impossible to get him like that because of the lack of articulation. Not to say that he doesn't articulate it well. The joints move fine. It was just a lack of like it's not double jointed. It was so frustrating, man. So frustrating.
And that's a totally fair criticism. And that's another reason why I kind of stayed away from them for so long. It's not that I didn't like the way they looked. I do. And now I'm just casually. But then, Bobby and Jordan, they got a Valorverse booth at the last Legions Con.
Yeah.
And they're telling me all about it, and I'm getting excited. Like, oh, dude. So I'm going to go to Legions Con this year, hopefully.
Yeah, it was. I was impressed to a point where I'm like, yeah, I have to come to this every year. It was really cool. This is another Mythic Legions, right? Or Figure Obscure or whatever it's called.
Yeah. So this is again, all of these are part of their retailer appreciation wave. House Hendo said they're cheaper from the Four Horsemen website, but I think isn't this only from their preferred retailers. Like, I don't think they sell this directly, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess I could look it up. It's Store Horsemen, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think this is the one that my wife wanted. Was this the one you wanted?
No, I know if I go down the Egyptian route, then I'm gonna want to build an Egyptian shelf and in an Egyptian world, and I don't got.
Yeah,
I don't got the room for like all these new displays, So I'm trying to keep it like just medieval.
Yeah, I love the way the orcs look. I like the way the vampires look. I bought one of their horses. I have to shout out Woody because he sent me a link. He's like, "Yo, it's the damaged packaging to get if you want a horse because I had that death figure from 5K Toys that he needed a horse, and they have, like I said, they have great horse. The horses, if you're gonna buy a horse, go to Mythic Legions. All the other ones suck, man.
Absolutely, I got one of their horses and it's great.
Yeah, it's there. I'm very interested. When I saw the dragon in person at Legions Con, it was mind blowing to how beautifully it looked, how the detail on it. But all I kept thinking in my head was like, where in God's name are you setting this thing up? Like, and if this thing breaks, I will drive to their place and jam it down their throat. Like with the amount of money that you would have probably to spend on this goddamn thing, right? I don't know. I'm just. When it comes to stuff that big and that expensive, that's when I really get scared because I'm like,
that's what she said. Oh. Let's see here. Woody has a question for me. What's up, Woody? He says, "Are Garrison Cavalry bad guys? Help a brother out." Yes, they are.
Yeah,
that's Carrick is their leader.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, like Carrick has the medieval helmet, and then the Garrison Cavalry have their medieval helmets. So
he's one of my favorite guys from Valorverse, from the Action Force. Was
Carrick?
Carrick,
yeah, he's cool.
Yeah,
Bobby should do a version 2 of Carrick.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
I love the Bone Collector and him because the removable masks. I love the removable masks. They're fucking awesome.
And then Action Figuratorium says, Laser Pants, there are 2 NECA Egyptian Iron Maiden Eddies you can get. Go down that road. It's worth it. Oh. Yeah, I've seen those. Those are like the bigger 8-inch ones.
Okay.
Everyone wants me to buy more stuff, and I want to buy less stuff.
Enablers, all of you.
Yeah, exactly. If anything was going to enable me, it'd be this cool like Ark of the Covenant looking thing.
Yeah, the accessories are pretty sick.
Yeah. I mean, this has got to be more than 50 with all this.
I would assume 80.
Yeah,
for sure.
Then the girl, what is it, Anubis and
Bastet, right?
I think you're right. Yeah,
Anubis and Bastet. Yeah,
we were just in New York a couple months ago, and we went to that big museum at the Met. It's at Central Park.
Yeah.
And we went through and saw all the Egyptian artifacts, and
Egyptians
loved action figures.
Yeah,
like you go in the Egyptian exhibit, and there is what looks like just a whole bunch of action figures on a shelf, just everywhere.
Wow.
And it's little statues that look like this chick right here.
Yeah, my wife just popped and she was like, "I want that."
Yeah, see, there you go. No, you better get it.
Buddy. Yeah, trust me. I got her an action figure collecting too inadvertently. Like she starts now collecting, and she wants all these like weird ones like these.
Yep. Yeah, my wife collected Funko Pops, and that lasted like 3 weeks. And she's like, "I don't really want these." I'm like, "Okay." It was fun while it lasted, because then it was like, "Hey, let's go look for toys because you collect Funko Pops."
Oh, yeah.
This is like 10 years ago, by the way.
Yeah.
See, like Hammertron is trying to get me to buy more stuff. Those would be perfect for Ryan's display in diorama. No, they wouldn't.
They are nice looking figures. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I mean, that's what they're known for. They're known for paint and sculpt. They're not known for articulation, although they are now improving. Like the latest wave that went up with those lions and hyenas, like looked like they were adding in some double joints and stuff. So that's great. It's great to finally see that.
Yeah, that's finally this is cool too.
The Frankenstein is the most tempting for me out of this wave.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
he comes with like a lot of cool accessories, if I'm not mistaken,
and a couple different looks. Like, look at this, with the stitching everywhere, and just covered in paint. What? And this is what, the same price as a Marvel Legends Spider-Man? Get out of here!
Yeah, for real.
How do you do? It's probably more than that. It's probably more than 50.
I think. I think this one is 100, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, let me. I should just bring up like Big Bad, because they should have it, right?
I think so. Yeah. You see, I like all the jars that you put like the body parts in.
Oh yeah.
See, that's cool, man. That's real cool. And the books. See, I'm always a sucker for like books and stuff, but I always feel like they should open. Like, I'm not saying put like actual words in the goddamn books, but the books should be able. I don't know if these do. If they do, that's pretty cool. But most of the time when you get books, either they're already open or they don't open at all. And I think yeah.
Here we go. I found it.
There you go.
So yeah, we're looking at like 70 each.
75.
Yeah. Okay. Frankenstein is 75.
Yeah.
The Snake Man that we haven't got to yet is 50.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the what do they call it? They call it the Phantom Trooper. The Horde guy, the Horde tribute is 50.
Yeah, $50. Yeah.
The Egyptians are 70.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're not inexpensive, but I think the value is there in the box for what you get.
Oh yeah.
Unless you're an articulation junkie, then these probably aren't for you.
No, yeah.
And then what? This is one of the Christmas ghosts or something, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Because they have her pictured with Jacob Marley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool figures. But not for me. I'm not. It's one of those where it's just like, doesn't really do anything for me.
I know. I like for some reason the past few years, like Christmas figures have really gained popularity.
Yeah, man.
And I'm like, I don't need that.
I got one Santa Claus from the Naughty or Nice just to have a Santa Claus. You know, like this kind, like when you go like this deep into Christmas lore, if you want to call it that. At that point, I'm like, all right, no, Santa Claus is where it starts and stops for me.
Yeah.
It's a cool figure.
Someone's coming after me now. Matt with 2 T's. That's Maximum Spider-Man LP, and don't you forget it.
Yeah, facts.
Crap, double crap.
Yeah. That's crazy to think, though, that now Marvel Legends are the same price as Mythic Legions.
That's nutty. That's just, especially when you factor in production numbers.
Mm-hmm.
The production on a Spider-Man action figure from Hasbro is tens of thousands, if not 100,000.
Yeah.
It's so, there's no way Mythic Legions is coming close to that.
Yeah.
No way. And so the fact that, I mean, you buy in bulk, right?
Yeah.
If you're making more, if you're paying the factory to make more of one 1,000 of something, and for 100,000 of something, well, the price on the individual figures comes way down.
Yeah.
So listen, I've heard all the excuses. Well, Hasbro is publicly traded and there's a license. I know. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It does make sense. They're a business and they're trying to make as much money as they can.
And I think they, like I said, I always tell people that they're sitting in a room going, "These dumbasses will buy whatever we bring."
You know they're saying that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know they're like, look at these idiots.
Fucking moron.
Took their $50 for that McDonald's toy.
Exactly.
And by the way, I like Marvel Legends. You know, but
Facts, dude.
you gotta have a little
Listen,
self-awareness.
the truth is the truth, man. That's how they're treating it at this point.
Right.
They're just milking it for everything they have. But you want to talk about a cool figure? This is badass. Like for Conan fans, because he always fights lizard people in the books.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend these if you're a Conan. If you have like the Mezco Conan and get a couple of these, that'd be a cool shot.
So I have a couple other snake guys, which is this body, but just painted different.
Okay.
This one is definitely tempting. I like the green. I think is it glow in the dark? It might be. Looks cool.
Yeah.
With the wired cloak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. He's like a wizard dude or something.
That's badass.
With the staff.
Yeah. They've been getting into wizards this last year. I noticed with Mythic Legions, been releasing a lot of wizards lately.
Yeah, genies.
Yeah, yeah.
But you mentioned Conan fighting lizard people.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Conan cartoon from the 1990s?
Buddy, I loved that cartoon.
I loved it. Why? No one's making toys based on that.
I have no idea why. I made a
I think I do.
I made a custom Conan based on that cartoon from the Masterverse figures, and I even 3D printed the sword from the cartoon. Yeah. And I made that sword in foam. Like, so I made an actual version of that sword. I loved that fucking cartoon so much, man. And I'm always asking people when they're like 3D printers, you guys should print that shield with the phoenix on it that he had in that cartoon.
Yep.
A lot of people would buy that shield and shit. That was a really awesome. You're the only other one that ever brought it up. Nobody ever brought that cartoon up.
Not only is that cartoon, I feel like it's forgotten about and completely underrated. But the theme song, the opening theme song, is one of the best.
Yes.
Dude, it's up there with Thundercats. It's up there with Transformers. It's up there with Power Rangers and X-Men.
Hell yeah. Yeah, man.
I mean, dude, I know all the words. I could sing it right now.
Me too. Oh, me too.
Oh my God. I love the Conan. It's on YouTube. You guys go I think all episodes are on YouTube to watch.
Yeah.
Conan the Adventurer.
Yep.
Conan, warrior without fear.
Yep.
Okay. I won't sing it. Snake Man, cool. Like it. That's great. Awesome photography. From 1/6 shooter, fine. I'll give him credit, even though he hates me. He doesn't really. I don't think he might. But I'm going to see him at Legions Con, Tony.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to confront him. Not really. I probably try to give him a high five. Like, hey, 1/6 shooter. Try to give him a high five, and he'll just be like,
"No, sell you."
Just keep passing by. All right, fine. I see how it is. 1/6 shooter. Good photography skills.
That is an awesome shot. I have to give the young man credit.
Yeah, young man. So there it is. The retailer exclusive wave, which is up right now on Big Bad, probably Hella Dope Toys and Nerdzoic and wherever you buy your toys.
I might have to pre-order that Lizard Man. I really like it out of all of them.
Yeah.
That one stands out the most to me.
Yeah, I think you sold me on the whole him fighting Conan thing.
Conan, right? It's badass, dude.
See, you're an enabler too, Tony. You just enabled me to get another Snake Man.
Yeah.
I love not knowing their names. I just call them. I call them like what the Kenner team would have called the Star Wars if it was a Star Wars figure in 1978. Got Lizard Man, Snake Man, Walrus Man,
Snake Man,
Hammerhead. You know,
reminds me of when Macho Man fought Jake the Snake. That was it. Every time, as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Ooh, the Snake Man, yeah." But I am the Snake Man, yeah.
You are so good at the Macho Man's voice,
buddy. When you watched him for decades, studied his cadence, his mannerisms, yeah. And I've smoked quite a bit. So you got to get the smoker's tone, then you can kind of nail the voice because he was a smoker as well, Randy.
Yeah. How about, man, one of the most iconic parts of the first Spider-Man movie was Bonesaw McGraw.
You're goddamn right. I
love that.
Might have been the only person in the theater who legitimately popped like I was watching a wrestling show.
Yeah.
I popped. I said, "Is that what? I said, who, are you kidding me right now? Everybody's looking at me like, what's your problem? I was like, nobody's popping right now that the fucking madness is in the ring right now, taking on Spider-Man. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on in this movie theater right now? I was like spinning around. I was doing the poses. I was like, yeah, all right, yeah, take them down. Like I was going,
is ready.
yeah, I got you for 3 minutes. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Um,
Favorite, might be my only favorite moment from that movie. I love that movie, but if you tell me what's your favorite part from that movie, it's Bonesaw McGraw.
yeah.
100%.
Also. Or the part that Rocco in.
Rocco's?
He's the paper boy
Get out
at
of
the
here.
beginning. I'm
Wow.
serious.
You
You only see him from behind. He wears it as a badge of honor. He's like, I was the paper boy in Spider-Man. Yeah. I guess it was filmed in his grandmother's neighborhood.
Oh,
So,
wow.
All right. On.
That's great.
This dropped today, and I wasn't sure if I was going to get it. And then I saw everything it came with and the price, and I said, why not? Samurai Jack.
As you know, I have a hate-hate relationship with Mezco, but
I know you do. I know.
but this one, I'm a big fan of Samurai Jack, and like I think you said this to me before we started. Nobody has ever done something like this, so this is pretty badass, man.
Yeah. Like when they showed this I think they showed it at New York Toy Fair for the first time, which was November or October.
Okay.
I was like, how come no one's ever done a Samurai Jack figure before?
Yeah.
Like there may have been kids' toys at the time the show was out, but as far as like collector figures, like I have not seen anyone do a Samurai Jack. Like Mezco's the first one.
Yeah. And they nailed it. Pretty awesome.
They did. It looks really good, and it's simple. It should be simple. Like the art style is very simplistic. This is simplistic. It looks perfect. I'm digging it.
Yeah, this was be if I had to get another Mezco, this would entice me seriously. Like I said, my wife, her brother is a huge Samurai Jack fan. So when I saw this, I immediately told her, I was like, I think we found your brother's birthday gift. Whenever it comes out, we have to get this for him because that's awesome. I mean, look at that. That's a great fucking. I mean, you could just Mezco pisses me off, Ryan.
I know. Listen, I got to hear it from Bobby too, and I get it. I would never defend them because I don't think they have horrible customer service.
Yeah,
which I've experienced good customer service from them, but just during the pandemic, the delays and like all zero communication really rubbed a lot of people away, and then the Bat9 fiasco turned a lot of people off.
Yeah,
but I think they're doing well with this Samurai Jack. And by the way, like this is perfect for Mezco with soft goods because it's just a robe.
Just a robe, yeah. So it doesn't hinder anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna. I mean, it looks like it flows right. I'm sure it's wired.
Yeah.
It just looks phenomenal. Tons of accessories, tons of head sculpts. Kato mentioned to me earlier today. We were talking no bearded head sculpt, and it got me thinking. Well, Mezco never just releases one of anything. Like there will probably be a con exclusive or a Mezco exclusive version, like a version 2 with some different stuff that they can do, or
Yeah, that's definitely would probably be in their bag of tricks.
Yeah. Were you a big fan of Samurai Jack, or?
I did. I that and Johnny Bravo. I used to. Johnny Bravo made me laugh all the time. But this was like I didn't expect it to be like as good as it was. Like I thought it was supposed to be like silly for kids when I first, because you had Samurai Jack, you just hear the name and you just assume, oh, it's gonna be a silly. But like anything, like when you go into it and you start watching, you're like, oh shit. Like I didn't realize that it had this kind of tone to it. So I was very,
it was pretty brutal.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be like that. So like I said, to me, I'd rather watch a violent cartoon than a TV show at this point in my life. I don't know what it is. I just like the animation better. I like watching. I can get lost in cartoons easily nowadays.
Dude, I'm telling you, the X-Men 97,
it was good.
It was the best thing from Marvel in, between like live action and animation. It's the best thing from Marvel since like Endgame for me. I loved it.
I liked it.
I can't wait for season 2, and I hope they don't screw it up.
Yeah, I liked it. I just I felt like They buried Wolverine because they felt like they had to, because it had to be about the team, which I understood. But I just felt like they buried him a little too much. Like, they didn't have to bury him to the back that much. But
Yeah.
I understood why they did it. I just didn't like that they did it that much. That'd be my only complaint about X-Men 97.
Yeah, I mean, I could critique things about it, including I like that they got the original voice actors, but you could hear, I mean, especially with Rogue, you could hear it. Like, she's older.
Age.
Yeah, even Wolverine, you could hear that Cal Dodd. I mean, they're all getting older, it happens. But I am glad they brought back the original voice cast, as many of them as they could.
But
Because a lot of them have passed away. But
I would have totally been fine. My favorite Wolverine voice is Steve Bloom, so I would have been fine if he would have reprised the Wolverine. Because one of my favorite cartoons is Wolverine and the X-Men.
I never watched those.
Oh, buddy, let me tell you, you want to watch a good one, and I'll tell you, buddy, when you get to the end, you're gonna be mad that it was only one season, because I was
really
furious.
Is it a cliffhanger?
Oh, it ends on a cliffhanger, and you're like, come on. It was one of those.
I can't do it then. I'm not gonna do it.
It was such a good series, and it was one of those where you're like, how did this only get one? Like, and why won't they bring it back? I get X-Men 97. I totally understand the nostalgia from the original animated series. But if you were to bring something like that back, that one, even back then, when it first came out, it had such a great episodic adult storyline where it wasn't really for kids. It was more for like teens and like late teens. If I could recommend any cartoon to you, bud, watch Wolverine and the X-Men. It was really good.
All right.
Really fucking good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I will.
You just give it a shot. I
will.
It was one of those, like, and it's one of those great shows that you can leave on in the background if you're working on something, and you can just kind of pick up the stuff. It's not one of those things where you have to like, oh, I have to pay attention.
I feel like that's most of the shows I watch nowadays. It's like, oh, it's on in the background.
Yeah, good background noise. Yeah. I like a good show when like you can just kind of leave it and it's on, and you'll catch enough of it to kind of pay attention. So you, like I said, that's why I'm saying, like, it's one of those good shows you can leave on in the background and catch what you need to pick up on the next episode.
Okay. Jason Evangelista, thank you for the member chat. He says, member flex, Laser Pants, great interview by Tony, Legend Series channel.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate you, man. And again, thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate that.
I was happy to. I was surprised you reached out to me, honestly.
Nah, you kidding me?
All right.
I wanted to see, and I'm happy to see. Like, was it a couple weeks ago when Bobby said that he would be on it? I got to reach out to him too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
he's a great guest. I mean, if you want a ton of views on one show, I mean, that's a good way to do it. Like, whenever he goes on someone else's channel, all of a sudden, like, for that show, like, their views double. It's awesome to see. But all right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, man. I had a great time hanging out with you.
My pleasure, but thank you so much, man. This was fun.
Yeah. Everyone should be clicking the link in the description below to your channel if they haven't. Go over there, subscribe to Legend Series. Your interview series is awesome. It's on a live stream. They're awesome.
Thank you, bud. I appreciate you, man. It's like I said, I have fun on my channel. I just want it to be a place where you can come to and enjoy yourself. I don't want to ever feel like you're bored. I don't want to ever feel like they're bored on my channel. I want it to always be entertaining.
Yep. I think that's the key.
Yeah.
Just be entertaining. People, you've got that part down.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
All right. So, channel members, stay tuned for the after show. Coming back this Saturday with Bobby. We're going to do a show. And then after that, we'll see. Because I got stuff going on.
Wow.
I'm going to have a busy couple here, outside of YouTube. So,
okay.
But we could talk about that on the after show. In the meantime, Samuel Edwards, thank you for the member chat. Great stream, Ryan and Legend. Thank you,
Sam. I
appreciate it. All right, that's all I got. Tony, would you like to sign us out?
Yeah, sure. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I appreciate everybody who hung out. I apologize for all the non-wrestling fans for all the wrestling talk, but you know what? Tough cookies, says the little noogie. Have a great night. Enjoy yourselves. Take care of each other. Peace.
Peace.